Some journeys don't begin when you leave. They begin when you're ready to move forward. And that's exactly where the Torah brings us as Sefer Bemidbar begins. After the intensity of Vayikra, after the laws, the sacrifices, the structure of holiness, the Torah returns to story, to movement, to the wilderness journey itself. Because people do not live by law alone. We also live by narrative, by struggle, by growth, by the long journey between who we were and who we are becoming. Bereshit gave us origins. Shemot gave us liberation. Vayikra gave us holiness. And now Bemidbar gives us the wilderness, the in-between place, the place where transformation happens slowly. At the beginning of Bemidbar, the nation has already been at Sinai for nearly a year. The Mishkan stands, the laws have been given, everything should feel complete. But HaShem says, now move. And maybe that's why this book is called Bemidbar, in the wilderness. Not simply because of where the Israelites traveled, but because of what the wilderness represents. Because the wilderness is more than a location. It's a season of transition, a season of testing, a season of transformation. The wilderness is where certainty begins to disappear, where old identities start breaking apart, where people discover what they actually trust, what actually leads them, what actually sustains them. And maybe that's why so much spiritual growth happens there. Not in comfort, not in stability, but in the in-between spaces of life. The wilderness is not where the story ends. It's where the story deepens, because revelation was never meant to remain stationary. And maybe that's one of the deepest truths of the wilderness. Growth cannot remain theoretical. At some point, the journey has to continue. And Bemidbar will not be an easy journey. There will be fear, complaints, rebellion, loss, tests of faith, moments of failure, moments of courage. Again and again, the wilderness will reveal what is still unfinished inside the people themselves. But maybe that was always the purpose, because the wilderness was never empty space. It was formation. A generation learning dependence, learning trust, learning identity, learning how to become a nation centered around something greater than themselves. And that process took 40 years, not because God wanted delay, but because some transformations cannot be rushed. Some lessons take time. Some identities are formed slowly. And honestly, that feels deeply relevant today. Because most people are somewhere in their own Bemidbar, between Egypt and Canaan, between the version of themselves they left behind and the version they are still becoming, between certainty and trust, between comfort and calling. The Torah's wilderness story is also our story. You are not lost. You are in transit. And maybe that leaves us with the real question of Bemidbar. Where are you in your own wilderness journey? Closer to the Egypt you left behind? Or closer to the place you are moving toward? And what is the next step of your crossing?